25 Kamui Open, brought to you by Predator. This is the winner's first round, 8-ball, race to 8, and we have two very informed players at the table for you today. Poland's Matthias SNIEGOCKI is taking on Germany's Yuri Pisklov. I'm Gethin Davis, and joining us in the commentating booth today, an inspirational colleague and dear friend, Mark White. Welcome, Mark.
It's a good job my camera isn't on because I'm already blushing. Thank you for those lovely kind words, Gethin, and it's lovely to hear those lovely Welsh dulcet tones, and really looking forward to this. I've got a nice little story about Yuri Pisklov a little bit later on, but yeah, looking forward to this. As you said, Matthias in a great vein of form at the moment, so this should be a good matchup. Yuri, very talented young guy from Germany.
Yeah, absolutely, and as we've seen in the matches earlier today, this two-break format has been paying dividends for the action at home, and it looks like Yuri has taken the lag here and will open us up for his first of two breaks. All to play for. Let's see what we've got.
Good square hit in the break. Controlled the cue ball to some extent. Got it going at the centre of the table. I'd liked it to have stayed more mid-table, but made a ball. That's all you can wish for in 8-ball. Very important. You make a ball. Ball's going inside.
Yeah, and good early signs for Yuri here. Looks like he's got a shot. Could be hampered if he does decide to take the 7 on. But the solids do look in good shape, Mark. Or well, that's not how he hoped to start his account, and a little mutter to himself, but still very early days.
Looks like he's been enjoying the Slovenian sun, doesn't he?
He very much does.
Some strong factor cream on there. He should know he's actually a physiotherapist. That's his main job, Yuri Pisklov.
Well, maybe he practices outside because he does have a beautiful bench today, mind you. Mr. SNIEGOCKI is doing too bad himself by the look of it, unless we have the contrast up at home. Well, as we expect from both of these players, Mark, both of them will jump on any chance that they get, and it looks like Matthias is making short work of this.
Had a lovely chat with Matthias in the Maldives of all places last year during the Maldives Open. He was there with his wife. He was telling me all about the program that they run in Poland. I believe his daughter plays as well. Could be wrong. I think it was his daughter that plays.
I'm sorry, Mark, I'm still lost for words. You had me at Maldives.
Unfortunately, I was remote for that one. I've always wanted to go to Mauritius. It looks very delicious, doesn't it, Mauritius? Nice start for Matthias, though, in the first rack. Mistake by Yuri.
He still had a lot to do after the first mistake by Yuri, but he did make short work against Yuri's break. He's certainly put his mark down early on in this match. Don't think Yuri has too much to worry about yet. His break looked to be working quite well. If he can keep that up, he will be giving himself every chance. Oh, and his second break is even better, Mark. Looks like he's made 3 balls. And he does appear to have shape on both solids and stripes, so another good opportunity from his break. Be keen to make this one count.
Fabulous matchup on table 2. Mario He, the Austrian, up against Russian Arseny Severstyanov. Now, what a player he is. Plays all the games, plays Russian Pyramid, plays rotation and 8-ball. Very, very gifted player. So if you want to check that guy out, he's over on table number 2, guys, on Billiard TV.
Yeah, our dear colleague Tim in the last match alluded to how quick that gentleman plays, and he was implying you could blink and miss him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got a nickname or not, but I've already got a hurricane, a tornado, a typhoon,
and a whirlwind.
Think of one. Yeah, we've got whirlwind Jimmy White, haven't we? We've got a tsunami.
Yeah, he's played that one very well, Mark. Was a good break. I think if Yuri and Mateus are gonna both break this strong, we could be in for some fireworks.
Straight in 8-ball then to level things up at 1-1. Oh dear, oh dear. You've done there, Yuri. It's the worst thing you can do in 8-ball. Miss the last ball, miss your last ball. So all the 8-ball is just as bad.
Not unexpected, not at all.
Just a nudge into the 5-ball, towards the left-hand corner. Still take that. This is the pole in pole position. Two gifts by all accounts, giving him opportunities to break both of Yuri's breaks, so it's not the ideal start, is it? Because when you do win the lag, I keep saying it every match, but it's so important, you get 4 of the first 6 breaks, so it's a real good chance to build a lead. And after such a good break, he'll be very unhappy that he didn't close the deal. He's left himself a bit more to do on this 8-ball though.
yeah, he does like to shake his head a little bit now and again, and was just running a bit out of position on the last 2 shots. Has left this thin cut on the 8. Well, I have to say, Mark, both Mateusz and his esteemed colleague Wojciech Szewczak have appeared to keep going from where they left off in Austria. Both playing confidently in stroke and clearly very well rehearsed with the TV table.
He just saw that miss on the 8 again from Yuri. That was a bad mistake from the German, and he'll know it. Used to commentate on Yuri Pisklov quite a bit back in COVID when we had those online challenges and online tournaments. Yuri used to partake in them. Was always a nice fun guy, good player to watch. He had a white table from memory.
That's a new one for me, Mark. I don't think I've ever seen a white table. Interesting.
Yeah, made a lucky ball there. Didn't make any of the ones that he was going for there. You see the little kiss off the 7 there. Making sure he stays at the table.
Well, he did get a good spread on them, and these stripes are looking very appetizing. But the cue ball was running a little bit off the break there. He may want to snuff that out for the next one.
See, Albin Ocean had a good 8-0 win earlier on, and I was with his sister last night, and Kelly Fisher went out to dinner there in town in Thailand just before they go to Indonesia to the big Predator event starting on the 12th. Been getting some practice and some Predator tables, the only Predator tables in Pattaya actually.
Did see your social media post, and there were some photos of some big players on that poster. Looks like it's going to be an absolute clanger, that one by Predator over there.
Yeah, men's and women's open and the mixed Scotch doubles, which is always a fabulous event. It's kind of reminds me of the last day of school or Christmas Eve, you know. It's got that kind of party atmosphere to it. Great fun game, Scotch doubles, especially when it's mixed. Kelly, one of the favourites, of course, with her partner Alex Kazakis. They've had a runners-up and a winners in the first 2. And Jasmine will be playing with Marco Teucher, and Pia Filler is playing with Dennis Grabe. There's just a few of the pairs. Wei Chu Chen is up with Dimitris Lukatus as well. So some good pairs.
Well, Mateusz has made short work of that one off of his break there, Mark, and that is an ominous sign. He's not let Yuri get off the mark yet.
Yeah, already 3-0. A break to come.
Well, as you and I both know, both players fully capable of running for fun, so it may come down to who makes the most mistakes rather than who finishes out the best patterns here.
Yeah, Mateusz's 8-ball there wasn't dissimilar, was it, to the one that Yuri missed in the rack before. They're the ones you've got to get. Not very square hit.
No. And I think that's dry, Mark. The cue ball was running a little bit as well. But this will get Yuri to the table, and Yuri will be looking to put one on the board here.
Very good straight ball player, Yuri Pisklov.
He's a very cool customer around the table. That's one thing I do remember of Yuri. He's just taking a closer look at this. Maybe he didn't come the side he was hoping to. Or is he looking at... I think he was wondering how he would find shape for the one, but yeah. Feel it's all about how he gets shape on this one ball. He's left himself a very nice angle to do it now. And he is very reminiscent of a straight pool player. He does like to move around the table and get his visual assertion of all the angles put together. I do like it. It's a very good thing for players of all ilk to take note of.
Yeah, he's always going to have a shot at both balls there, playing into that area. But he does have a perfect angle on this one ball. Draw off the side rail, back to the centre for the 3, into the same pocket.
And it does look like that 8 ball will pass the 12 into the middle pocket there. He's just checking. Oh, does it? Good camera angle. Doesn't give it all away though. Yeah, it looks like from the overhead mark it would have, but to be on the safe side, Yuri has a similar cut to Matthias's earlier.
I'm just thinking the same thing. Matthias made his, and Yuri's made his as well. Yeah, it's good. Gets on the board at 3-1.
Yeah, we saw in an earlier match a similar 8 ball struck quite hard, hit on the same line, but the pocket would not let it in. They're not that forgiving. Very tight pockets on these Predator tables, and playing them shots at pocket speed really does help your chances.
Yeah, good finish from the German. More action coming up for you guys. 4 PM local time. Not sure who just yet, but it's good to have you with us.
I was just looking at some of the qualifiers, Mike. You alluded to Albin earlier. There's an old friend, Ralph Suke, has made it through both the qualification and winners round 1. So there could be some big names heading off through here.
Yeah, the Kai's up. Still loving the game. Still competing. Great break there. The way he parked the cue ball in the centre of the table.
Yeah, that was
Didn't do him any favours though. It's all there now. Excuse me, for Matthias.
Yeah, a dry break giving Matthias a good look at the table here, and he's electing to go for stripes. Maybe he might choose to move. Yeah, the green stripe there, and that has solved one of his problems. Just looking from the camera angle here, it looks like that 12 ball passes the 8 into the corner. one good shot, he's manufactured a great opportunity here. Yeah, as you see from this camera angle, it looks like he can punch the cue ball over towards the 4 and the... He's elected not to. He took the other to leave himself a better angle here to come back up the table.
Quality stuff here from the pole. Cue ball down the centre of the table, just missing the 1 for perfect position on the 8.
Yep. This is good stuff from Mateus. Real good stuff. And it really does look like he hasn't missed a beat since Austria. Finds himself regaining his lead 4-1. And this will be the second of Yuri's breaks, so we will be looking at home, ladies and gentlemen, for Yuri to start making some of these visits count. Because otherwise, this is what you're going to get from SNIEGOCKI. And he will not pull any punches, so... Could be feeling, even at this just over midway point in the match, that Pisklov needs to start digging a little bit deeper, and it will start here with his break. And that's all he really needs to get stuck into this rack now. Bit of a breath. Maybe there's nothing immediately obvious for him. Well, he's had a good look, Mark, and he's not giving away much yet.
Taking on the more difficult ball, fails better position to get rid of that awkward ball just below the 6.
I'm just wondering, looking at the top of the table, if that 14, the green stripe, passes the red 3 into the corner pocket, because if it does, that's a little bit more of a Brucey bonus for Yuri.
I think it will after this. I think it will after this shot, because he's going to play this one rail first and move the 3 ball out the way, so it will definitely go, unless he's very unlucky.
That's a great spot, Mark. Difficult cue in. Maybe a little bit too difficult with the cue in, but yeah, you were right there, Mark. That was the shot to play.
Yeah, it was very awkward. Trying to do a lot with a cue ball as well, which increased the difficulty of the shot. Yes. All ball fouls, doesn't want that shirt to come out of the trousers.
No, that wouldn't be the best way to give away a foul. Not that giving a foul is good in any stretch of the... He's opened the table up again, Mark.
Yeah, quite fortunate to finish so nicely on the 6. He's overrun this again. He may play the combo here. May not have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, you were right there, Mark. He played it very well. Well, it looked like forever and a day he'd overrun that. Maybe he did, but the cue balls come into not too bad a position. However, as he's high on this 4, he's going to be coming down and maybe a little bit too far to hold for this 7, so
it could play into the 8 here.
yeah, I think he's looking at the 7. How'd you like your pace there, Mark?
Well, it's finished just nice, hasn't it? He's had a couple of little rolls in this run out.
Yeah. And as much as he's been getting the odd roll here or there, he is potting and patterning rather well. And deservedly taking a 5-rack-to-1 lead, and if the alarm bells weren't ringing, they will be now, especially as Mateus is back to the table to break. So 5-1, Mark, it's a big hill to climb.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the professional patterning and potting Polish machine. But once again, it was Yuri who was in first, and that's the one that went wrong. Awkward cueing.
No. I mentioned that
montage.
His compadre Shevchek is already through, and as always, the Poles are looking to make their mark on this EuroTour event.
Yeah, commentated on Daniel Maciel in the first match of the day, and he looked very, very good indeed. Oh, look at this for a mess.
Ooh. A dry mess. Well, Yuri is at the table, but he certainly has some cleaning up to do. Is that one solid stuck in a cluster of 4 stripes? It looks like it.
Yes, the number 6.
Well, he does have options. Yeah, it's an awkward one there.
Actually got the angle going into it here. Off the side rail. Should leave himself on the 7.
tried to do exactly what you said there.
He's got another chance.
Yeah. Does he have the angle off a thin 4 here?
Yeah, well played. And it does go to the top or the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, and from this camera angle he may have just left enough of this blue 2 at the top of the table there, but oof, I think all in all he came out well from that shot.
Yeah, it would have been very unfortunate not to finish nicely.
Yeah, he's just having another inspection of that. It's a close call up there.
You might want to play onto it sooner rather than later, that 2 ball. You don't want to leave it as the last ball, that's for sure. So 3, 2, 6.
Yeah, this is the key shot. There's not much to play with on that 2 ball down there. Okay, he's nodding his head there, Mark, so he appears to be pretty happy.
Yeah, he's just going to have to leave a bit of distance, I think. I don't think he can get close to the 6, can he? That's okay, done well.
Yeah, he brought that around very nice.
Yeah, this was a must clear rack.
It was, and not the easiest either, and a real good settler for Yuri there. Getting the score back to a bit more of an honest 5-2. And you were alluding to our next Predator event over out east. It's great what Predator are doing with the sport at the moment, Mark. I'm very, very impressed. And after this 3-day event, I believe we're straight into another.
Yeah, it's at Junior European Championships, isn't it, I believe?
The new talent coming through. We've already seen a few play on the TV tables today. And one of Slovenia's own making an appearance on the TV table too. Was good to see.
Didn't look like a very nice hit, to be honest, that one. Looked a little bit snatchy.
And that's 2 dry breaks in a row, so Yuri's ears might be pricking up a little bit here. It's not often you see that from Mateus. How are your options here, Mark?
Oh, wow.
Looks like stripes from here, but yeah, with that cluster of three solids over by the 15 there, the stripes certainly look the favourites there.
We know the break is just so important in cue sports in general, but in 8 ball even more so. If you don't make a ball, your opponent invariably will be in amongst them.
Yeah, indeed. And the one thing I do like that adds a little bit more spice to these tournaments, Mark, is the players getting to break twice rather than alternate each frame, and it can encourage momentum and it can also add to help stop momentum, and it's really interesting to see how the players navigate that. But you can see a big swing happen now and again just with that little shape of momentum. So 2 dry breaks from the pole. Mateus, will that come back to haunt him in this match? I'm sure Yuri will be hoping so.
Played that very nicely. Nice follow with some right hand spin. Nice and smooth.
Yeah, he did. There's a little bit of traffic to negotiate here, but I think you called it right. If he can push around the back off the 2 rails. Oh, he's come through the gap and he's found it lovely.
Won't do too much with the cue ball here, just a little soft draw, but will be maybe some memories of the 8 ball he missed earlier here. Hopefully he's put that out of his mind. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no problem at all, and it's good for the scoreline, good for Yuri, and he's punished them 2 hiccups from Mateus off the break. Now, let's see if momentum has truly shifted. I do like our collages, Mark.
They're great, aren't they?
Especially so when they throw in a couple of the expressions from the players in between shots, because it really does show you sort of get more invested in the player as well as the match. It's great. So it's very nice to see our star-studded arena again. I hope our players are getting used to this, because it is stunning, and I hope we get this every Predator event. Yuri back for his 2 breaks, and he's made one. If Yuri can keep his hands on this, or rather his grip tightly, we could see quite a big shift in the scoreline here. What was looking quite ominous at 5-1 is already 5-3, and Yuri has every chance here of reducing the deficit more. We could be in for a corker, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't an easy opener, Mark.
No, it's just so frustrating though. It's hard enough to make a ball anyway, and when you do, you expect to be on something unmissable really. But as we know, in the game of cue sports, one shot can change everything, And now it's Matthias who's at the table with a chance to get that 3-rack lead again.
He's called his extension.
Ooh.
Did that just overrun?
I think he still has the 12, doesn't he, at the back? I think he has the 12, does he, or not? No, obviously not. This is quite thin. Was he going into the corner? Into the corner.
Yeah.
He's okay this time.
Yeah, that's better cue ball. On the side of the 2 try breaks, you have to be impressed with Matthias so far.
He's gone a little bit too far with the cue ball there. This is thinner than he wanted. I'm sure he wanted to just stun through the gap. Can he still do that? Just draw in between the 11 and the 2. Wow, that's turned out okay, hasn't it?
I think it has. Yeah, he's played that very well. Put the cue ball up towards the centre of the table. Doesn't really need to do too much here, but avoid the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, this next rack, Yuri desperately needs a break and run to get himself back into it. If he loses it, Matthias will be on the hill with 2 breaks to come. So Yuri with his last break of this innings.
Yeah, and neither player giving too much away from their facial expressions, but you've got to think that Yuri's starting to feel a little bit... Oh, there you go, yeah, feeling a little bit more desperate. Didn't really have a good opportunity after the break. But SNIEGOCKI doesn't need asking twice. And what was 2 good breaks of serve from Yuri has now just eked back out to a 3-frame lead for Matthias. He leads 6-3, Yuri to break. And like the last break, he's made one off the break, and I think this time he has better options, Mark.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of take what you make as well. I think that's a great game also. Nothing wrong with this version, of course, as well. Just as exciting, but I think take what you make just adds that something little extra.
Yeah, indeed. Looks like Yuri has developed a nice pattern here. Maybe with... if he can leave the 6 and the 4 for his last 2 balls, he can certainly take the second of his 2 breaks, and that, you feel at this stage, is crucial.
Mateus 2 to come after this, but he hasn't been breaking. You wouldn't say fantastic, so you never know. Still might be a lot more pool in this match to come.
Yeah, and Yuri will be hoping for a lot more pool in this match to come. There's a gap. Confident pot.
Yeah, seems to have settled down now. He's cueing very nicely. Any early match nerves have disappeared. He's in that zone now, focused, doing what he does hundreds of times in practice. So it will be Mr. SNIEGOCKI with his 2 getting.
Yeah, Mark, and he only really needs to close these 2 out on his serve. As we just take a look back, the Kamui chalk, and a very simple 8-ball. However, as I was alluding to, Mateus has 2 breaks here, and if he converts both of them, he will be the winner of this match. So Yuri is going to be looking for a dry break or a mistake to capitalize on here.
Ball down. How are
Yeah,
they looking?
God, the cue ball got hit quite a few times there, Mark. It still stayed in quite a good position, but a lot of movement.
He's a pinball wizard. Oh, that 11 goes, I think. Or is it the 13?
Well, he's played as if it does, hasn't he?
Yeah, it should be another rack, although 14, I'm not sure. Does it pass the 3 into this corner?
This camera angle is telling me no, but if I twist my head the other way, maybe. I think that's just my eyesight, Mark. Because if it doesn't, he is very short on options.
I think it must go the way he's played. This ball for the 10, just stunned down.
Ooh, it's rolling. No.
Oh, he wanted to be more straighter on this. It's always nice to be right behind the shot, although he's straight down on it. So yeah, just wondering, he's overrun that slightly. May have to nudge into the 8 now and nudge it over the side pocket. Nice loose grip, as you saw there. Nudged nicely. Play into the corner to arrive at the hill at 7-4. Mateus SNIEGOCKI going well. That's another good clearance, Gethin.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wants. I guess he was sat back in his chair earlier thinking, well, as long as I can do the business on my break, I am pretty much in the driver's seat. And he did make one off the break, stopping the rot from his earlier round of 2 breaks where he broke dry on each of them. And even though he had to move the 8-ball there, which could be fraught with danger, he's come through and he finds himself on the hill 7-4. And Yuri has only got a mistake to be in with a hope here. So, very dominating so far, Mark.
Yeah, step one, of course, make a ball. Focusing on that head ball, wants a nice square hit. Not bad, was it?
Not at all.
Oh no, look at the kick, he's okay.
Yeah.
Well, certainly has solids at his mercy.
Yeah, he's a bit unfortunate with the cue ball there. The cue ball took a couple of heavy hits. He really did freeze it. But yeah, somehow he finds himself where realistically, as you point out, Mark, he only has the solids as a real option. Whether or not he sees a path to victory through them, we will find out.
Yeah, going straight for the jugular there. Opening up the only difficult ball. Hasn't gone exactly how he wanted though.
No.
Very awkward 2-ball.
But he did clear the path for the 5, so that when he has, or if he pots the 3, it opens up that corner pocket for the easier pocket for it. But yeah, he's got to cue over that 5 now for the 2. Should be okay with the cue ball if it contacts the stripe and takes the energy out of it.
Well, if it does go in,
Ooh.
I was going to say, if it does go in, every chance of running out here and winning the match, but awkward to the side pocket. Slightly easier though than into the bottom right hand corner. Now he hasn't been too unlucky there, has he? What has he left?
Not a lot. I thought the 10 may have come down far enough for him, but maybe it hasn't.
Very fortunate for Mateus there.
Yeah, from the overhead angle it looks like he's either forced safe or double, and he's gone for the safety. Oh, he's played that really, really well.
I think he has to call the 2 in the side here off one rail.
Yeah, it's a good safety, but he still has that cluster of balls, the 2 balls there, that may present a problem, especially if Mateus gets out of this and doesn't leave him anything too obvious.
Wants to catch it thin rather than thick.
Oh,
Just perfect. Look at that for a shot.
dead weight
leg
as well.
as well from Yuri. Appreciate that shot. Really was a great shot.
That was a real beaut. And look at how he's left himself here.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet, is he? Just a little bit more work to do for the pole. Now can start through the gap off the 4 for the 7 into the side. And then he should be over the finish line.
Well, he really got into that. And he's pulled his cue ball back, probably just as far as he had it back before. And I think he was hoping to have a... Yeah, he's pointing on the table there. I think he was just hoping to have a little bit more of a look at this. So now it's a bit thinner than he thought. Oh, how do you like your pace? Wow.
Well, if he's dead straight on this, it's not great. He's got to play a stun. Oh, he can just stun through slightly. Just dragged it in. Beautiful. So it's going to be 8-4 to the pole. Overall, I think a fair result. Yuri just missed a few too many balls. Matthias had his share of misses as well, but the fist pump comes, and it is Matthias SNIEGOCKI who will go through to the next round. Yuri has to go through the one loss side. We're back 4 o'clock with more action from you, from Gethin Davis and myself, Mark White. We'll see you again very, very soon, but for now, ta-da.